You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table, the podcast where no subject is too taboo to discuss. Now, please welcome your hosts, Andy Barker and Lou Del Pree. What's up? Can't hear you. Yep, we're back to normal fucking everything now.
Of course you can't, because I'm mute. Right?
We're back.
Of course we are.
That's how you know we're back.
There's absolutely no technical difficulties. It's
No.
all operator error.
100%. And we'll be taking that up with HR later.
Oh, you know it, man.
That means more training. You realize that. Thanks.
That's all right. E7 and up screws up. E6 and below training.
That's right.
That's how that works. Everybody knows how that works.
That's right. So it's Friday, man. Another Friday. Another Nothing's Off the Table. Another busy freaking week. I can't believe it's Friday already. I told you. What's that?
I said it goes by quick.
Monday. We went to go see a movie, and Monday was the first day of summer break for the kids. All day long, I thought it was Saturday.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
You know, because not used to kids being home yet, and I just wasn't paying attention. But yeah, so now the week's gone by extra fast. But next week there will be no show next week.
No.
I'll be getting on the road on Tuesday, heading to wonderful Carlisle, Pennsylvania. That's right, Scenic Carlisle, where you can see all the Amish you ever want to see.
So you're not satisfied? You say you want more for your dollar? Head on down to Carlisle.
Is that what they say?
I have no idea. You're there though.
What's that?
Very proud in Perry County to not have a traffic light. They may still not have a traffic light. I don't know, but it was in Perry County.
Interesting. I was super impressed my first time there when I saw the Amish out there playing baseball in their Amish clothes. No uniforms. I was like, well, guess that makes sense.
They're American too.
Yeah. No, I was happy to see it, man.
Yeah.
Not happy about dodging all the horse shit on the roads, but you know, and in the park.
It's a weird place, Central Pennsylvania. It's a weird place.
It's pretty cool though. I dig it.
Yeah.
I like it all right.
It's people living.
Yeah. Simple life, really. But anyway, hey, since we're on track with being back and whatnot, what do you say to
What's up? Using my subscription services, I found you 10 stories. I don't know if we'll go through all 10, but we'll get through a couple of them. Have you heard the oversight chair subpoenas Biden's doctor? Haley Fuchs of Political reports in an unexpected move that has jolted the political landscape. The oversight chair has issued a subpoena to President Biden's personal physician. They're going to take a look at the records and if he possibly lied to the American people by covering up, I think, the prostate and mental decline. So we'll see what happens there. Most doctors say, you're not just going to accidentally discover prostate cancer. That's been an ongoing diagnosis, and the American people should have been made aware of it. Number 2, Modern Family child actress shares reality of life after growing up on TV. Remember the little Asian girl that was the gay couple's kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember her either.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Couldn't tell you what she looks like, but yeah, I remember vaguely.
Right, but anyway, she's sharing about what it's like to have moved on, like no one else has, including Drew Barrymore daily in her show that, some hope is a suicide note. I'm just kidding. The Trump-Musk bromance devolves into a chaotic public breakup. Did you see that yesterday? That was crazy.
My Lord.
Crazy. But two titans going at it, man. I mean, they're both used to getting their own way. I mean, and you got to admit, we did kind of screw Elon Musk over. I mean, he did all that work to find all those cuts, and all these Republicans are like, yeah, I don't know about that. I know we ran on it, but I mean,
who didn't see it coming though?
That's what I mean. Everybody, and then who knows what it is, man. Here's the other thing: you don't know what's going on with these guys, so I have no comment at all, man. Like, I looked at that whole thing and I tried to make sense of it, and I just couldn't. And maybe, maybe like the Dark Knight, right? The Dark Knight, the second movie with the Joker who killed himself when Alfred Fred said, "Hey, some people just want to see the world burn, man."
Yeah.
Hey, maybe there's no reason behind it, right? Maybe there's none, but I wonder too if they're looking to see who went to Elon's side real quick. Like if this is a way of outing people.
I would not. I mean, I wouldn't put that past them at all.
I
You
don't
know,
know, man. It's
Trump is
wild.
a master troll.
And then
What's up, Murdog?
you saw what happened to Glenn Greenwald too, right? That's not in my 10 stories, but we'll talk about that too. Did you hear what happened to Glenn Greenwald? And this will
Uh-uh.
be a wrap. But Glenn Greenwald went on Tucker Carlson with a pretty anti-Israel position and an anti-Israel report on the war in Gaza. And he's a critic. And immediately after, he's also homosexual, married, and has adopted children. And right after that interview, or shortly thereafter, gay sex tapes came out of him naked licking a male hooker with like a supposed crack pipe in the background. I have no idea if any of that's true. It's all alleged. He has acknowledged the video, and he said that's consenting adults. He did deny any drug use and said that that's not a crack pipe. I'm really not interested in searching and watching the video to see what's in the
Hell
background.
no. No, I'm good, thanks. Give it up for Lent.
But
Wow.
if anyone wants to take one for the team, I don't have any money, but you'll get my respect. Anyway, um, but yeah, so funny. Right after he gives this anti thing, in a typical Mossad move,
Oh yeah.
gay sex tapes appear. But he took it in stride, and you gotta say, man, like, he was like, "I'm not gonna let you blackmail me. I'm gonna continue reporting, and it's two consenting adults, and maybe you think it's weird, maybe you don't. That's why it was private, and I didn't consent to the release, because I think people probably would judge me, but it's out there. What are you gonna do? And yeah, man.
It's the right approach.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's handling it perfect. If he never
Yeah.
says another thing, he's done perfect. He addressed it once, saying he wouldn't address it again. He addressed it a second time, picking up specific misleading traits.
Mhm.
And then now he's just kind of left it alone.
Mm.
And I think if he does that, I think that's great. I think if he keeps chiming in, right, you're protesting a little too much, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, Murdog.
right, what should be done? I don't know, man. People say, like, with the kids in the house, just take the kids out of the house. Man, I don't know about any of that stuff, man. I don't know what the legalities are.
You know what?
I don't know what that video. I don't know if that video is real or not. I don't know if parts of that video are fake or not. I mean, just like 20 years ago when TiVo came out, they were suing over product placement. Okay, do you remember that? Yeah, I guess we're done with the
Yeah.
wrap. Do you remember product placement?
Yeah, vaguely.
So what they were talking about?
Yes,
for anybody-
yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
Right. So what they were talking about, if anybody doesn't remember, so at the time, the big show was Smallville,
Mhm.
and Survivor, right? So not so much in Survivor, but in Smallville, if you were watching on TiVo, you're skipping commercials, right? So because you're skipping commercials, they're losing revenue because people don't want to advertise on television anymore,
Right.
right? Because nobody's, they're skipping it. So they're spending money on these commercials and everybody's skipping it. So what they were going to do was they're going to enter in a partnership with TiVo where TiVo intercepts the television signal and then edits it. So the reason I bring up Smallville is because that was the popular show at the time, and that was the example used, was that Clark Kent would be eating Cheerios in Andy's version, but in my version of the same episode on at the same time on the same night, he's eating Wheaties because I eat Wheaties, right? Also, it was so detailed and so advanced 20 years ago. This is 20 years ago, right? I'm talking about. They could replace the cars. So the cars in Andy's were in his economic bracket, like in the background, like that weren't moving. They couldn't be moving. That was the other thing. It wasn't that advanced yet. But if there was a car parked in the neighbor's yard in the shot, it would be a car that fits Andy's economic background or a car that fit my economic background based on the profile that TiVo had of us, right? So, and that's what they called product placement. And Hollywood sued because they were saying, well, no, Smallville's a poor town, man. I mean, if Andy's rich, I mean, I don't want I don't want BMWs in the background of a farm. That's gonna look stupid.
Right.
And Wheaties at breakfast was not my intent. To see Clark Kent Superman eating freaking Wheaties. No, I want him eating Fruity Pebbles, like eating like trash and having an insanely, physique, right?
Right.
Just every angle of this kid's life is screaming, "You're not from Earth." What do you mean you don't get it? They have to tell you. You know, you know what I mean? Like you're eating marshmallows, soup cereal, s'more cereal. Anyway, long story longer, product placement was a big deal. So when you talk about videos and like Glenn Greenwald, and I'm not defending any behavior. My stance on that stuff is, I mean, yeah, it's not for me, right? But hey, I'm not here to judge anybody. Do your thing, live your life. Do whatever you want to do. It's not my thing.
Well, can I give you my opinion on that real quick?
Yeah.
It may be unpopular, but there's no need to take the kids out of that house.
That
It's like you said, 2 consenting adults. It's like, are you gonna take a heterosexual couple out kids away because you're having sex? If
that
they're as long as they're not doing it in front of the kids.
yeah, that right, and that's where they come in with the like the potential drug use or something. Like, was there drug use? Was there? I don't know. Again, I'm not searching the video. I don't know, man.
I think it's disgusting, but I support their right to do it. Fags.
Yeah, listen. It's true though. I mean, it's true though. It is true though, man. Like, who really cares, man? I mean, when and I get the children aspect. Yeah, I mean, look, if that's a legitimate threat, for those of you that watched the video, like he said, man, like I find it weird that many of you had to watch it as much as you had to watch it who hate stuff like that to point out that there were like inconsistencies. Like, what I mean? Like he's got a great point, man. I don't know, man. But again, I guess in the world of podcasting, that's why, Achilles looks down on me and says, "That's why nobody will know your name."
Yeah, it is kind of an unpopular opinion, but whatever, man. That's America. You're allowed to have your opinion.
Right? I even say people say you can't, if you didn't vote, you can't have an opinion. No, I think that's this is America, man. You don't have that voting for your opinion is not a requirement.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I mean, realistically, I mean, if they don't vote, I mean, some people them not voting is their statement. Give me a candidate I want,
Right.
Until you get a candidate I want, I won't come out. But anyway, yeah, I hear what you say, man. You get your freedom of speech, you're free, a lot of freedoms. Alan Dershowitz was just being interviewed by Glenn Beck, and he was talking about how they've been looking at trends, and he thinks the Supreme Court is going to start coming down more on the side of security than freedom. He said they're going to start looking at these things like these pandemics, and chaos moves quickly,
Yeah,
and
scary, man.
things can take lives quickly, and they're just going to look at they're just going to start restricting speech, and erring on the side of security. He thinks that's going to start happening soon.
That's scary as fuck, man.
And Congress will do nothing about it.
Nope.
No.
Of course they won't. Anyway, I think this whole Trump thing, and Trump and Musk, I'm like you. I'm going to reserve my opinion because I want to sit back and watch. I want to see what happens. It could be something so petty, man.
Yeah.
Between those two, it could be something legit. I don't know, but it could also be a big ruse.
So fascinating you bring that up because they were just talking about earlier today. The pictures of that giant, massive troop buildup they were talking about in Ukraine. So that they had an expert on, man, and it's all fake. It's all AI. It's all AI generated, man. That's all fake.
Shocking.
And he went through, and there's markers, for experts, and he was trying to explain how lay people like us could figure it out, but he's like, you could tell from here, it's all fake. It's all fake. That's the same person over and over. Like that. You know. So you really, it's here. You really can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it's definitely here.
What do they call it? The singularity, right? You can't tell the difference between man and machine.
Damn, man. Terminator's just around the corner.
It could be.
Are you still a Kano?
I mean, what do you think? I mean, are you apocalyptic? I mean,
I'm just living my life, dude.
you know what's funny?
Honestly.
In my greatest biblical controversies course, they were talking about, did Jesus believe the apocalypse was Revelations was or is Revelations a telling of future events? And again, the course only looks at things from a historical perspective. It's not
Right.
looking at it from the religious perspective, right? There are faith-based questions and there are historical questions. This examined the historical side. So it just said, what did people write at the time? What were people writing before, during, and after? Right? And so when they're looking at the book of Revelations, what they find is the stories repeat. There are some story, excuse me, from earlier, right? Earlier religions or earlier tellings or earlier versions. And what they find in the history books is that, and they even pointed out to two statements. I can't recall them in the Bible, right? But basically, every generation, including Jesus' generation, thinks the kingdom is coming because the world is ending. They were saying like, and what the guy said was interesting. I have a side theory on the fact that as we age, we feel like it's all falling apart, like that old man told us in high school. And it's every generation, he said, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about scripture. And he went right back into it. But he just said historically, every generation feels apocalyptic. And he went through, man, a lot of the different people in the writings of Apocalypse.
Well, all I can say is I just hope I'm not around to find out. Because if you've read the book of Revelation, it's going to be a lot of pain, man.
Oh, and not for me. No,
Yeah, you'll be here with me. We won't be. I know for certain I won't be one of the ones that are chosen to be. What do they call it? Fucking.
Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Say,
right.
remember that?
I would definitely be one of the ones left behind. How about that?
Oh man, that was a pretty cool. What were they? They were in. Now, here's an interesting question. I'd always heard of it, and so I went and got it, and I enjoyed it, and I've read it 2 times now. But Dante's Inferno.
I thought you were going to go with the Left Behind series.
No, I know what that is, but I've never seen it. But I did think of that first when you made that reference, and that led me to Dante's Inferno.
I really enjoyed that series, man.
Left Behind?
Yeah, don't watch any of it. Any of the movies that were made are awful. They're horrible.
Well, I know the end, unfortunately.
Well, I guess we all do, don't we?
Yeah.
If you're had any religious upbringing at all, you kind of know the end. But I don't know. I thought it was really good. It really made me question a lot of things.
Yeah. So everybody's familiar with Dante's Inferno, but it's a divine comedy, right, of 3 books. And it's Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. So he, goes through hell, then he climbs Mount Purgatory, and then he goes through heaven. So you get a picture of all 3. And it's interesting. I do, and I'll tell you what, it has shaped my vision.
I need to reread it. I read it as a kid, man. Long middle school, high school.
It's fascinating, man. Like the different tortures for the different sins,
Yeah.
And then, spoiler alert. When you get to the 7th circle of hell where the devil is, his breath, he's chained, and his breath is so cold, it's what's freezing him in place.
Hmm.
So he is frozen, and it's so cold it burns, and the people are frozen around him in ice.
Oh wow.
And so it's his breath that is freezing everything. And you just, and he's chained up like a beast.
Well, he is a beast.
It's insane, man. It's insane. And then he comes out and like, all right, there's the mountain.
I need to
See
reread it for
you.
sure.
Virgil's like, see you at the entrance. Like, late, all right, late. Deuces. I guess that was his favorite poet back in the day.
I guess. Dude, so last week we broadcast from you were in your studio, I was in the woods.
Yeah.
I got ate the hell up, man.
By bugs, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I was an idiot. I put the shower / bathroom tent up, man. And during the day it was nice at night, but during the day it was really, humid and wasn't hot, but just enough to get you sticky and nasty feeling. So I'd left the shitter tent door open. So we just, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Well, that was a dumb move, man. I went in there and I put the shower stuff in there, went to take a shower, and I got in there, zipped up the door, and I realized thing was full of mosquitoes, man. I just got lit up. And that's why I'm fidgeting. I'm fucking itching so bad right now, man. But anyway, it was still awesome. I still really enjoyed it. But yeah, that's all I got on that. You're muted. You're muted. How about now?
I am mute, but I have nothing to say.
Oh, you said something. Probably
No, I didn't.
You probably said I have nothing to say.
No, I was saying I haven't been camping in so long.
Well, a year. Hey, what's up, Tony? So how weird is this shit? All right, you remember that picture I sent you of
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
That's the dude right there.
That is weird.
Isn't it? Tony, I was
saw a
just telling
picture of
that
you, man.
story.
You and Tim.
I was just telling that story of how you pulled Tim over and you guys called me and sent me that picture. And
That's hilarious.
like 2 days ago, I was talking about that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's weird, bro.
When you pulled him over, were you like, son, do you know why I pulled you over?
You ain't from around here, are you?
Or were you like, I got you. You boys ain't getting over on me.
Yeah, it is a small world.
I
Man.
forget, was it that how Scooter was?
Roscoe,
Roscoe
Train. Come on, Flash. Go, go, go.
Yeah.
They fucking know.
I agree with him. I know exactly why I was pulled over. Because
I won't say his real name on here, but he always lets the fat girls go. Well, I won't say always, but and correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember correctly, it's all because the hot chicks are always getting breaks their whole life, because they're hot.
That's a fair point. I remember a friend of mine told me, said he pulled somebody over who, my neighbor was a county policeman for a long time. So he pulled somebody over and they said, you only pulled me over because I'm this. And he said, ma'am, when I'm parked and you blow by me at 60 and a 25, I have no idea who's driving. He said, you should try it. Slow down sometime and try it. You'll see it. You can't tell.
I did a ride along with him one time.
Nice.
That was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. Did you do it like Steven Seagal? Oh
yeah, every person we pulled over, I assumed their identity and their accent and everything.
Yeah. Every time you came upon a Hispanic looking person, we were like, hey, SA. You know, it's better to cooperate with us, SA.
Orderly, you know I'm the law, right?
Oh my god, that show is terrible.
That show was ridiculous. I watched about a minute and a half of one episode, and that was all I could take.
I couldn't. I really. I'll tell you what, man. It took me a really, really long time to get through an episode of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, that was another tough one too, man.
Yeah.
Those freaking guys. You know, I will be honest with you. I did watch quite a few of those episodes, and the only reason I did is because it was in Hawaii. You know, when they were in Hawaii, I watched that
Oh,
season, whatever it was, and you know, it was cool being like, oh yeah, I know exactly where they're at. You know what I mean?
well, I just didn't understand like what was going on. Like it just to me, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Right? Like I couldn't wrap my head around, um, like bail bond retrieval. Like why there were no like shootouts or like I just like I couldn't wrap my head around how
That
they're
shit's
always
all
getting lucky.
it's all scripted. That's why.
Well, I didn't know that.
That shit's all scripted.
I mean,
Man.
I believe maybe at some point, they know, they might probably know more than they lead on, like we know he's there and we know he's not armed because the girlfriend works with us, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, who knows?
But
I never paid that much attention to it. Like I said, I just
I,
watched it because of
that's what I'm saying.
location.
Like sometimes it would be on and I'd be watching, and I'm watching them run the operation, and because I was watching the Finn kid a lot. Like I'm like, this kid's got to get fucked up.
Right?
I'm like, this kid has to get beat up, man. And he would get run over a couple times. But so I have seen like I said, but it just took me a long time. Like for a while, I couldn't wrap my head around what was going on, man. I just was like, this makes no sense. I have no idea how this is going down without an incident. I have no idea every time.
So is it wrong to constantly root for the bad guys? I would on that show all the time.
Oh man.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Did you
just
see the guy that escaped from the Louisiana jail made a YouTube video?
no.
Like, yeah, I'm begging, whoever come down, you gotta help us turn myself in. I'm not like that. I didn't kill these people. I'm innocent or whatever. I'm not going back.
I'm
Like
innocent,
made
but I'm
this
not going
video,
back.
man. Yeah, something like that. He made some video, man, and they're like, well, you just gave yourself away again.
Yeah.
Just keep leaving crumbs, bud.
Yeah.
But
Not
they're
too
telling him,
smart.
turn yourself in. But like, I'm a father, I'm a this, I'm a that. They're like, well, you're also a fugitive.
That's right. Dead or alive.
Yeah, man. And one guy was playing it, one of the shows I listened to, and he had that cut ready, from Tommy Lee Jones. I don't care. And then if you've never seen The Fugitive, when he's like, you don't understand I don't care, Richard.
Did you ever see any of those videos of that sheriff? I forget which county or which parish it was in, but it was in Louisiana.
Yes, he's Clay Higgins. He's a
Yes.
representative. He's a
Yes.
representative in the House of Representatives.
Yeah. That dude's
He
awesome.
was elected to the House. They fired him, and he got elected to the House of Representatives.
He's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, they fired him after the church one, I think.
I don't
When he
remember
when
that
he was
one.
out with the church leaders and he called out the gang
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
come
yeah.
heavy or come light, don't matter to me.
Yeah. We will find you.
Oh my god. If you haven't seen Louisiana Crime Stoppers, if you haven't seen, it's Crime Stoppers is what it's called, or St. Landry Parish Crime Stoppers.
There it
St. Landry
is.
Parish Crime Stoppers. It is it's not on anymore. He got in trouble, right? I mean, listen. We can all sit here and say, the country's going to hell. Okay, but look, man, if watch 3 of them and you'll be like, oh yeah, man, this dude's done. He's toast. Yeah, they're never gonna let him on, right? But he's doing everything that's hilarious, and he's catching the criminals. Like these criminals are getting mad and coming to the station to confront him.
Which I don't understand why they fired him. That was effective,
Oh
man.
my god, it's the funniest thing, man. But
They were
oh.
They were great spots because we used to, when I was stationed in Pensacola, we would get those too.
Oh yeah, man.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
we'd see them all the time. They were awesome.
He used to say, oh yeah, he used to say, I remember the one time with the diner, he was like, let me tell you something. Sheriff and I like Stella's Diner. We eat here regularly, boy. I'm gonna eat a hamburger and leave a nice tip for the waitress. Your next meal gonna be through a small hole in our jail. 'Cause you left a nice boot print on the door. And we got the fingerprints on the battery, boy. And he said, then he just puts the icing on the cake. And besides that, when it comes to the money, your friends will take the money. They don't like you anyway. They're gonna turn you in. He just would say stuff like that, and it was effective.
You
And
say
and
stuff.
and
We're
the
all
people
thinking.
rewarded him. When the bureaucrats punished him, the people rewarded him, and he is in the House of Representatives right now.
That's awesome. It's a
Yep.
great spot for him.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, he's in the people's house. He should be in the Senate. They
We
won't be
need
able to handle him in the Senate.
we need more citizen politicians
Oh man,
instead of these career politicians, man.
he was so
But
funny, man. You
that's a
left a
whole different
perfect
story.
blueprint on the door.
Dude's my hero, man.
He was like, what we used to say, don't worry, in our or when the guy robbed the church, don't
Mhm.
worry, in our jail you will hear the word.
That dude's great.
He said, in our jail you will hear the word, and you'll have an opportunity to come to Jesus on a daily basis, son. Turn yourself in. Listen here,
Dude.
child. What he said, listen here, child of Abaddon. No son of Satan gonna come in here and oh yeah, you gotta watch, man. Just I can't. I'm not doing him any justice, man.
No,
Clay
you're
Higgins, St. Landry's Parish Crime Stoppers. Yeah, you won't forget it. You'll be like, man, how does he remember that stuff, man? You'll remember it. Just watch it.
we almost didn't have a podcast tonight.
Almost.
Almost. Liam had a game scheduled. It was one of the makeup rain out games, and oh look, it got rained out again. So
No.
you got some more weather heading your way, dude.
Nice. I always get it the day after. I hope it rains tomorrow. I don't feel like doing baseball. I got a game. I'll do it though, but I'm like,
See that sheriff. That's exactly what I could see. Our friend. I'm not going to say his name, just because there might be some unsavory type individuals out there. Probably put two and two together and come up with six. But anyway, I could see him being that way. Totally, 100%.
Oh yeah,
He'd
yeah.
even be a hell of a lot funnier too. Guaranteed.
I was right. I was having lunch with a good friend of mine, right? An 88-year-old retired Marine, 1956 to 19. I forget. Gosh, 15. That's 9, 8. What a 60. Anyway, long time ago, and he was telling us about 10-cent movies.
Wow,
That's
crazy,
isn't it?
I remember growing up, we had this theater by the house that we'd ride our bikes to, and it was $1 movie.
Yeah.
Nothing first run, but
right. There were dollar theaters when I grew up. There was one.
Yeah,
we called it the Ritz.
Yeah.
And then it was only open like a weeknight and the weekend. Like one weeknight, like a Wednesday.
Right.
And then it was open like not even Friday night because they just didn't want that crowd, It was like Saturday, Sunday.
Ours was something similar. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was similar to that.
I have looked into a drive-in theater.
Yeah?
I have. I've actually put like serious effort into that. I mean, I don't have the capital for it, but I know all about it, man. If you want to start it, it'd be about 350, 400,000.
Yeah, let me I'm a little bit light right now.
No, but that's a lot less than a lot of other franchises could go for, and the maintenance is different. But basically, the property the property isn't a problem. The design's not an issue. The licensing is easy. The equipment doesn't really cost much. The biggest expense is the screen.
Mhm.
Because what they say is, right? Like buying the land is whatever the land is, right? And then they said then you have to put up a big enough. Now, if you're fortunate to be in the middle of nowhere, you're fortunate to be in the middle of nowhere. But you don't want people because you have to they said in a drive-in, you have to go over FM. You just
Right.
have to, right? Like so you're gonna need a broadcast license because you're gonna go over FM, but you're only gonna transmit a certain distance.
Mhm.
Like, but that distance is gonna go beyond your business. It is.
Right.
Like, so you don't want people to be able to see it. So people will be able to hear it, but they won't be able to see it.
Yeah. That's
So you
tricky.
need a fence or you need to be in the woods, or something. Um, like off a highway or something where nobody can just park and watch.
Hmm.
So the other thing is the paving has to be done a certain way. It'll cost you a little bit extra, but you can do that. So that way cars have a hump. They can kind of angle up
Yeah. That makes sense.
as they pull in. And what the guy said was you don't what like everybody, I don't want to say guy, but like basically I talked to people, but I also mostly a lot of internet research. And what was written by a lot of owners was it's not the movie that makes money, right? Because like you said, it's never a first run.
Mhm.
If you want to make, if you're fortunate enough to have a really flourishing business, you can do first run movies, but they cost a lot. And it said, but if you do older movies, it doesn't cost much. And you'll get like the families and you'll be able to have them there. They said what draws people to the drive-in, they said, is you need to offer a food that is not available locally and you need to do it right.
Hmm.
So people are coming for your fast food, but watching the movie, you know.
Interesting.
You just have to do something that's what makes it successful. That's where all their money comes from is concessions. And if you have concessions that are not available anywhere else, they'll come to your theater.
Hmm. You ever been to one of those, I don't remember what they call them, but, basically, they've got the recliners, you can order all kinds of food,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Cinema
like
cafe.
luxury theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
those are pretty cool. I mean, you're gonna pay for it, but
Yeah, I have our theater has recliners now, but it's not like what you're talking about. Yours is more of an experience, like where you have like computer ordering and stuff a lot of
yeah, you can
times.
order beer, you
Menu,
can
steak. Yeah, it comes. There was a restaurant in Boston. I'm back from my microphone, but there was a restaurant in Boston. My wife and I were gonna go to, but we never got around to it. That was a like kind of rooftop theater cafe where it was like that. The lounges recline, the tables there, the food you order is there was like ordering, like sort of like an Olive Garden, if you will. You know how you
yeah, they're
kind of like
little kiosk thingies, yeah.
right, like but you could order like steak, chicken, French fry. You could order all kinds of stuff, and it came cut finger food size. So like
Oh,
the
wow.
steak came in small squares. It was already cut for you, so you could just kind of like
Hmm,
whatever you're doing. Everything came cut. So you're not going to see Ghostbusters, although that's awesome. you know,
right.
you're going to order steak. You're going to order finger food.
It's pretty cool. That's a good gimmick to
Yeah.
get people in.
So the screen anyway, for an outdoor theater, Andy, take a guess. This was 10 years ago. 10, 12 years ago.
Size or what?
Just cost.
Oh god.
I'll give you a hint.
150 at
You're,
least.
you're gonna need an all-weather screen, hurricane proof.
Yeah, minimum 150, I'd say.
Minimum 250,000.
Wow.
That's why I say it's about 350,000 because you need the other 100 for the restaurant.
Then the land. You're not even talking about the
Well,
land.
yeah, all that paving, all that crap, everything. Put everything in the FCC license, all that stuff.
Yeah, you're looking about, geez, probably about
400,
70. I'd say more than that.
maybe. I don't know. I haven't priced this stuff out. Hurricane proof, outdoor screen might be more than 200,000 nowadays too.
Oh, I'd guarantee it if that was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Shit. And it's
Yeah,
not
because they
like there's
said you
a
they
lot
said you
of
don't want
demand,
anything to happen to that screen, man.
and there's not a lot of demand for that either. So they could probably charge you pretty much whatever they wanted, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, you know what? It's about that time.
I think so, man. Let's wrap it up.
No, not that time.
I know, but I know we got things to do.
That's right. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, you know what that means? That means this is our segment of I ain't buying it. And I got a doozy for you this week. Well, I say that every time. But anyway, here we go, folks. When New York Attorney General Letitia James went after Donald Trump, she wasn't just doing her job. She was following through on what she campaigned on. That was her entire platform. She promised voters she would take down Trump, and when the opportunity came, she seized it loudly, repeatedly. No one is above the law, she said again and again. She accused Trump of inflating the value of his assets to mislead banks and lenders. Civil fraud, plain and simple. And whether you agreed with her or not, the message she pushed was clear. The law applies to everyone, no exceptions. But now Letitia James finds herself under the microscope for alleged financial misrepresentations. Word is, her own disclosures might not be as squeaky clean as she'd like you to believe. So let's get this straight. The person who made her name calling out fraud is now facing serious questions about her own practices. You don't get to build your entire brand on being the watchdog and then act shocked when people want to check your leash. If you're going to weaponize the law to destroy someone else's reputation, you better be damn sure yours can hold up to the same scrutiny. Because this isn't justice. This is politics dressed up in a robe and gavel. It's a power play. It's personal, and worst of all, it's predictable. Letitia James isn't holding Letitia James isn't holding the powerful accountable. She's playing judge, jury, and political executioner while breaking the same rules she swore to uphold. She's not a public servant. She's a hypocrite in a pantsuit. And this idea that she's fighting for truth, fairness, and justice, well, I just ain't buying it. Bazing. There you go.
I like it. I like it. Letitia James, terrible human being.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, she just screams DEI. Oh,
I can't wait. I ask this question all the time. Like, what everyone who's in law school, what are you doing? Like, when AI comes out, what are you doing?
right.
I mean, we don't. I'm
Well,
lawyer.
I'm sure they're going to try to put in place some type of laws to preserve their own being, but you know what? We'll
Yeah, we
see.
don't get that kind of AI.
Right.
You could have you could have the AI that handles your schedule and reminds you to feed the baby.
Yeah, there'll
But
be
you're not going to
some.
get the good AI. Good AI is for us,
Yeah. Go figure, right?
right?
Anyway, yeah, that thing, man, and well, now she's established a track record, a pattern for herself, unfortunately, and I think she's going down, dude. At the very least, she should be disbarred.
I mean, when I start seeing arrests, I'll believe it. I'm just getting a little disappointed. I mean, one of my biggest problems with the whole Epstein file thing is they keep saying, well, first off, I don't buy that. Elon Musk says Trump's in the Epstein files. That's why they're not released. I mean, come on, man, Biden had him for 4 years. If that was in
Oh
there,
yeah.
that'd be out.
Oh yeah.
And they asked Grok any truth to the claim, and even Grok was like, no. And the only files that have Trump's name on it were released by Trump, so it's doubtful he's the one hiding something. But and the logs that Trump's name on, for anybody who's curious, are flight logs from New York to Florida and Florida to New York, never to the island. So it's assumed it was business, and there were times when his entire family was on the plane. So they believe is more than likely probably on the up and up.
Yeah.
Which is what Alan Dershowitz, who won his defamation lawsuit from a lady that accused him of Epstein stuff because he's in the flight logs, and he won, proving she was a liar because he keeps everything and showed she knew nothing and was making it up.
Hmm.
Dershowitz is advocating for the release of all the information, but he points out, a lot of people's lives are going to get ruined by this. You know what I mean? And that's probably what the delay is, right, is that it doesn't matter. Like, people don't keep things like I do. There are gonna be people who aren't gonna be able to defend themselves against these false accusations,
Yeah.
you know? And it's gonna ruin a lot of people's lives that, had nothing to that just passed this guy's orbit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now there are people whose lives absolutely should be ruined. But his point is, the advantage that someone tried to take of him is gonna just cascade when that information comes out. So that's probably one reason they're taking time. Because I can't if that's not true, then I don't believe what they say, right? Like, well, we have to protect people and review thousands of hours of tape. Okay, so like in the first 3 hours you see a guy. So you just gonna leave him out there to continue molesting until we've just finished all thousand? I mean, we've already I mean, dude, get him now. Like,
But
what are you waiting for? Go get him
you know
now.
as well as I do how the government is, man. They're very slow on purpose because if you get federal charges, there's a 98 to 99% chance you're done. You're going to be found guilty because they put all their ducks in a row and they do all the investigating. Now, I agree 1,000% with what you're saying, man. This piece of shit's still out there doing this to kids. So there's got to be some kind of happy medium. You know what I mean?
Like, how do you justify to the victim? Like, you have to protect the victims, so you're reviewing that. How do you? What are you doing to protect the current victims?
Or the
Like,
future
what?
victims.
Yeah, what do you have to say to them? Is there anything you'd like to say to the current victims as to why you're not arresting these monsters now?
Right.
Like that you've currently identified people on these I know you have. I know you have. Is there anything you'd like to say to their current victims?
Yeah,
Is there
there's plenty. I mean, they've had plenty of time.
come on, man. And you know what? I'll tell you, I forgot who said it, but to quote someone I listened to at some point in time, you know, I don't even care if Trump releases doctored tapes. The Biden administration had 4 years to do something with it and they didn't. They
Right.
could have doctored him too. So, you know what? I don't care. At this point, I don't care. I just want tapes and I want arrests.
Yeah. I don't even care about the tapes, man. Just get the arrest done.
Right? Just start arresting people for this crap. This is ridiculous. I mean, for here's what I don't understand. I don't understand why the Democrats aren't freaking out about this, okay? And this is just the principle, right? Like, this is one of their key principles. Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for sex trafficking women to apparently no one.
Right.
No, no one has been arrested. Who did she traffic to?
Why
How is she in jail for trafficking right now? Now
why
I
aren't
get
her
it.
lawyers all over it?
I mean, I get it. I get it. We all know she's a horrible human being and she did traffic to people, but when you're rich in America, you can do whatever you want. I get it. I get it. But I mean, I'm just saying on principle, shouldn't you be demanding the information? Because there's a person in jail right now who they haven't produced a single like anything. Like
Well, it doesn't fit the agenda.
I it's just crazy to me, man. You know?
It's you could go crazy trying to figure it out and decipher it, man. That's what
Yeah.
it's just like I just leave it alone. It is what it is. You can't change it. It's just frustrating.
It cracks me up that people are like, I can't believe Dan Bongino and Cash Patel have changed and are like, Epstein killed himself, you know? Well, I'm sure Epstein did kill himself. Why don't you ask who told him to?
Yeah, right.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure in the file, in the video, it shows Epstein killing himself. I'm sure. Right?
Yeah.
Just like Clark Kent eats Wheaties in my TV show and he eats, Cheerios in Andy's TV show. Eh,
It's it's sexier to believe that there's this big conspiracy out there.
I-
But if the evidence, I mean, Bongino, if he's saying he after review of what he reviewed that he killed himself, I have to believe him because he was a big guy that was saying, "No, no, no, there's no way," you know?
I mean, but
It's
my whole thing is like, okay, he killed himself. Great.
right. Move on.
It doesn't. Well, no. I mean, to me, it doesn't end there. All right. Well, why?
What I mean is move on
Yeah.
to find. Stop focusing on that. It's done. Now let's find out why.
Yeah.
Let's
Who?
find out who's involved.
Funny. The cameras go out at the same time that the guard decides to take a nap. No, come on, come on, man, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it. Nobody goes in, nobody comes out. In the tape and the evidence and the body, and I got it, man. He killed himself. I got it.
Right. I hear you.
Where's the Vegas shooter?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You said shooters wrong.
Anybody? Yeah. Anybody know what happened to Seth Rich?
I don't even know who Seth Rich is.
Oh, I forget that.
It's that one guy.
Right? I wonder if I got that right. I'm gonna look that up. Andy, why don't you close us out, man?
All right. Well, like I said earlier, there will be no show next week because Wounded Warrior Empire Academy, who will be our veteran in the spotlight,
I think
you did get it right. Who is it?
Seth Rich was the Clinton aide murdered after the leaked WikiLeaks, right?
Yeah.
He was killed in an apparent suicide where he shot himself like 4 times in the park, and the FBI took over the investigation, and the media was barred from asking any questions further. So that's it. One press conference, and it was over.
Most suicide victims shoot themselves.
WikiLeaks, man. They think he's the one who gave Julian Assange the fact that there was domestic. They think it came from Hillary Clinton's email server.
Mhm.
That whole leak. They think that all came from Seth Rich. So the Clinton body count.
Oh yeah,
but they're not allowed to investigate his murder.
That's fascinating. Let's on our next show, let's talk about the Clinton body count because it's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for once again tuning in and listening to our nonsense just vomit out of our mouths. But no show next week. We will be back when we're back. And again, Wounded Warrior Empire Academy is our veteran in the spotlight, veterans helping veterans, because camp's kicking off next week, which I'm super excited about. And if you can find it in your heart to go to woundedwarriorua.org and support, it would be so appreciated on so many different levels. If it's $1, who cares? Every little bit helps us get these warriors the equipment that they need and the training that they need. And every year we struggle and we barely make it by. I don't know how we do it, but every year it's tougher and tougher to get the funding. So please support if you find it in your heart. And that's all I got. Lou, I'll leave you with the last word, sir.
Hey guys, comment, click like down below. It all helps. One of the fastest growing shows on Discord. So thanks for everything.
All right. And with that, we'll see y'all when we see ya. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table with Andy and Lou, an Admiral Media production podcast. All information at the time of recording